Hey, Kendall, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Angie, is this Oregon Angie?
This is Oregon Angie. Hi
Hello,
there.
Oregon. Hello, sweetheart. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, finally got our docs all finished. We're signing them Monday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I did a signing this morning and came home and I, grabbed a bite of lunch and do the webinar, and then this afternoon I'll get out and mow. So I
busy,
got
busy.
yeah, busy.
Do you do your own notary for people?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just cheaper than trying to find a notary or get them to go. Because a lot of times I'll go by the people's house and they'll provide the witnesses for me. So they'll bring in two of their neighbors, which is nice because then their neighbors get to see what they're doing and um, potentially turn into trust sales. Back today, one of them had just gotten married. And so, I mentioned to her that she and her husband might want to get a trust, and that if she had any questions about, what it could do, then, talk to her neighbor or give me a call. And I gave her my card. Then we went at it from there. It takes, it took me about an hour and 15 minutes, including the socializing, to be able to get the trust signed, witnessed, and notarized. And we just sat around the table and we sort of, one of them made a comment, it'd be great if we had a lazy Susan, because we just kept passing it around the table. Going through each section required, witnesses and notaries and all like
yeah,
that. So it just kept
yeah,
going round and round the table.
yeah. So how do you arrange the seating?
Well, we were around a little square patio table because they wanted to be out on the back porch. Um, it's either, I usually, this way I was sitting sort of in the middle of it. I don't have a particular format that I use to sign it. Sometimes if it's a oddball table or something like that, I'll have the two witnesses next to each other, and then I'll have the people that are signing the trustors will be on the other side of the table, and I'll sit sort of at the point, and I'll explain, what and where, and I'll slide it over to the witnesses, let them witness it, and then I'll sign it to the trustors first, and then I'll slide it over to the witnesses, and then I'll bring it back to me, and I'll stamp it and sign it and all that I need to do, and then I'll go to the next section. I'll say, okay, we need to sign and witness this, and there are a couple of them that just require initials.
Right.
So I point out that, down here, I just need your initials in the blanks. And here again, I trustors first, so that the witnesses witness them signing it
Exactly.
technically, and then I notarize everybody's signatures that need to be notarized. And sometimes I get slap happy with my stamp, and I might notarize 3 places instead of 2. But I figure, hey, they're not going to kill me on that one.
When I printed these forms out, some of the notary stuff that was on one page and the
Yeah,
rest was in another page. Is that okay?
yeah, that's fine. That's just the way the spacing. That's the way
Yeah.
the spacing is. And I want to get into printing it out and generating it. So, this is a good conversation we're having as far as, how do you set the table up? What do you do when you have the witnesses come in? And it's good to have the trustors sign it first, so that technically the witnesses have witnessed them signing their space, and the witnesses sign off on it, and then you notarize it, and then go to the next section. But it really and truly takes about an hour, or at least it did today. It took about an hour, and then I spent about 20 minutes after that socializing with the trustor.
Mhm.
And you know, he wanted to take me out to lunch, and I'm going, you know, I've got to do a webinar, so I wish I could, because he's going to take me to this really great little pizza place here close to us. And I told him sometime we'd get together for document, you know, for that. Now, one of the things that I'm going to start doing is, and I don't know why, but I just thought it might be good. I went online to Amazon and I found a little 2 gigabyte walnut flash drive. That's sort of neat. Costs $2. $2 for 2 gigabytes. But it's something a little different. And that I told him, you know, I gave him one for his trustee and one for himself. And he's got the hard copy, and he's using, hold on. Hey, Mark, listen, I'm in the middle of starting a webinar. Can I get back with you? I'll call you when this is over. Okay, it'll be about an hour. That work? Okay, the trust designates that in your bequeath. Okay, we'll do it. All right, talk to you in a little while. Bye-bye. If I put it face down, it won't ring. Anyway, walnut flash drives. But you know, they still use the Cyber Vault. They have their hard copy, but you know, it's worth $2 to $4 just to give them something that is nice, that they can put in a fireproof box if they have one. They can put in a safety deposit box if they have one, or they can just stick it in the front of the folder for the trust document. And that way, you know, they've got it. I just something that struck me.
Neat idea.
So, and you know, if I wanted to, I could get somebody who's got a Cricut to do a press on title that says trust, and then push that on it. Or if I really wanted to get fancy, I'd do some calligraphy writing on it and put trust on that. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to pick up where we left off, and we got through filling out the trust document. And the next place we were going to get to, where did it go? There it goes. Da, 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 da. Nope, wrong spot. Well, carp. Close that one. Close that. Come on. Okay, well, okay, stop sharing. Hang on, guys. I'm technologically challenged this afternoon. It is Friday. There we go. There's that. Sign into my account. Come on, Junior. There we go. Okay, so we were in the, and I'm not going to go back into that free trial I did to myself last week. I'm going to see if we can do this from the client demo. Come on, there you go. So we did the interview. We went all the way through the interview, all of the questions and all like that. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to review your trust. And we did that. So we checked the trust for errors, and you review it. Okay. Okay, then you're going down here. No, that's not what I want to do. Let me back up, guys. Like I said, I'm challenged today. Okay. Going down into step 3 is where I want to go. Maybe I will go over there. Let's see if we do it this way. Okay, here we go. You have to go into, it's like it says, all right, I hit review, and it went into, because we had reviewed and everything was right, we went into where we can generate the documents for printing the trust. So it's no
Greg,
document
on the
about
top,
it.
Greg, on the top, it's if you go back on the right-hand side, it says cover, welcome, interview review. I think if you click that interview review, it goes to the bottom, and then you can do what you're gonna do, close out the.
Okay, close this out.
No, keep on that page, and then on the right-hand side, right? Okay, review the trust.
Okay, so I go here, and on the right
Right,
hand
and then
side,
it says
right to
cover,
the,
welcome, hit the interview review,
okay, interview review.
and
Thank
then go
you.
to the bottom, and then
Well,
you're on.
all right, Joe. Thank you.
It helps when you do these things.
Oh yeah, well,
Once you do one or two, you kind of
yeah,
know what you gotta do.
well, and you know, it's also great that that you guys are learning. Um, so that's the trust. So coming down here to revocable living trust. Um, it has, you can edit it, you can go back and look at what's in there. And if you've already reviewed it, you can generate the document. So all you do is hit generate and it'll say processing. And this takes a little while, so don't get in a hurry or don't, you know, grab a cup of coffee and wait for it to finish.
Hey, Greg, can I
Yeah,
add in when you do the edit, the interview, gotta be careful to remember to always save it again, especially
yeah,
the client information. Otherwise, the state will default to New York, and certain information might erase and stuff. So
yeah.
always, if there's a save at the bottom, anytime you edit it, make sure you press save again so
Thank
the
you.
proper information is said. Because I
Yeah,
got caught on that, and
yeah.
when I printed mine, then
I remember when you called me about that. Why does it? Why does it? And I said, why? You know, it just did
yeah,
it.
because I didn't press save.
You
That's
didn't
why.
press
Every
it.
time you edit it, you gotta go through there, and you always have to press
You
save again because
always save and progress.
right.
So once you generate the document, the list of revocable living trust is on file. The name of the trust, when the document was generated, and now if they changed it, like I've got one to deliver Monday, when they call me and said we want to change the trustees, and I said not a problem, I'll just regenerate it and print it before I come. And I said I'll wait until right before I come to print it and collate it so that we know we've got all the changes we want made up to date. So then what you would do is once you do, and you would go through each of these blue tabs and generate the document. And then you can upload the document and it will upload to your, if you're familiar with, you know, choose the file where it's going to go, the type of file, Word document, revocable living trust, and you know, revocable living trust, you know. Whoops. Come on, Greg, fingers work. Revocable living trust. And this is the, yeah. So do that, and then we upload the file. And then it will come up under, it's supposed to come up under downloads. Why did that not do that? Come on. Guys, it's Friday and it's a good thing. Okay, so I should have downloaded it. Let me go over here. That's not what I wanted. I wanted downloads. Da-da-da. You know, the other day when I did this, it shot it up here and it showed right up here.
Hey,
You know,
Greg,
yes,
wouldn't you generate? What I did was generate my documents first, and then I went to the upload afterwards.
you went to the you generated all of them.
I mean, I generate the thing, right? So, right, and then I printed it so I could look that over. And then I had to make some corrections after I generated the
And
document because I looked the whole thing over. And then for me, I had to redo it again, make some corrections. I had to go back to the interview review
yeah,
and do corrections. And then I regenerated it and uploaded. But I
okay.
don't know if you have to do it that way or not.
You know what
And
I
then I
did?
wrote the
Okay.
description.
All right. I know
I just
exactly
didn't
what
choose
I
the
did.
file.
I did not choose select a document, uh, you know, and I
Yeah.
didn't do that. So, you know, I need to check that. I'm getting a cart before the horse, guys. And I apologize, but the file type, the description, and then you choose the file to upload. So Joe is correct. You go in and you generate your documents. You get them out there. So you would go through each one of these and generate the document. And it's the same process. And then you would upload them. And then you would print them. Come on. Then it says there, each document is a snapshot of the built from the answers based on what you put into the trust. Oh, come on. The other thing is I clicked OK before it finished processing. Even though it said it's been generated, I usually wait until the processing request goes out. Okay, come on. This is, I should have test driven this before I started this process, guys. I apologize.
You know what, Greg? When it
Yeah,
says the document has been generated, even though it's saying processing request, I said okay.
okay. Okay, so we
Because
go down through it.
I got tired of waiting like 10 minutes. So I
Yeah,
just,
so you
and
just
it
went
works.
through and clicked them all. And I need to check my computer to find out why I keep getting this upload aborted, invalid file type. I'll work on that. But ideally what you're supposed to do, and of course I've replacing this computer because it's having issues, then you should be able to go into it and have, okay, now that I've generated, okay, that's where I messed up. That's what I did. Once you generate them all, okay, then you go into the eVault. And that shows where all the documents that you've generated are going to be housed. So you go through each one of the blue tabs, generate the document, and then go to the eVault, and it will show you where you generated the document and when you generated the document. God, well, no, I started saying I need a cup of coffee, but it's too late for that, at least in East Tennessee. Joe, you were having your second cup of coffee, so yeah.
Yeah.
Or tea. I don't think you drink coffee. But anyway, so then what you do, this is where once you've done that, you go into the eVault right there, and it brings up your uploaded documents. And then you will go here, and that's where, watch this little thing right here. When I click last will and testament, yep, got another one. So when I go over here, I'll see that Come on over here. You'll see where these are. They're in a PDF format. Okay. So I've generated the documents, gone to the eVault, then I just click on them and it puts them in downloads. So then I will click on the I'll click on the download, a PDF file, and after waiting a significant amount of time, it will ask me if I want to print it. I'm dealing. Come on, Junior. Well, maybe I'm not. Sparkle. I'm glad I got. Come on. Okay. New share. All right, that way. New share. All right, finally. So it comes up in a PDF format. And of course, this revocable living trust is a 45-page document. So this is the bulk. This is the trust. And then you've got all the other supporting documents that go along with it. So you've generated it, you've gone to the vault, you've sent it over here in a PDF file, and then you just print it like you normally would. You know, as you go through this, it prints it out. Now, what it will do is it will print the copyright information for this year, the name of the trust, which page it is, and then it will give you the document generated on Friday the 9th and the time. Be sure this is on every page because that just tells you that you got the current information on it. It tells you know who it belongs to and when it was generated. And so, you know, the printing process from there is fairly simple. As long as you know, you've got the Adobe to print with. Back over to here. Come on. Alrighty, there we go. Come on. So you're going to print it, you're going to generate it, upload it, print it, and then we collate it. And the tabs that we get from ProTech, and I think I've given everybody the link on ProTech, is so that they can order the binders and they have the appropriate tabs in them. And they are $29 a piece. Unless if you order less than 10, they are $30 a piece and a $20 shipping fee. If you order 10, they are $29 a piece and shipping is free. So if you think you're going to be, or you are, or you haven't, you know, got a bunch of them you're going to print and sell, then, you know, order them, they'll ship them to you. It doesn't take them long to get them. You can choose your colors. You can use black or navy blue and silver. You can use, I do even think they have a maroon with a gold, or they have black. I know they have black with gold, which is real, you know, it's nice. It's pretty. And you want to do something, Randy talks about the Godiva delivery system. So you want to do something that's going to be pretty to send to, you know, to give to the folks. And the nice thing is they have the tabs in there that correspond to each section of the trust documents that we print out. And just tell them you're with Family Estate Docs, and they'll know which binder tab set to put into it. And then you just choose your color and tell them how many you want. They take a credit card and they will ship it to you. So once we've done the print and ready for signing and ready for delivery, you know, then you've got your funding kit, which is down here, which is where you do deed works for the quitclaim deed, or you have your local attorney that you know can do that, do it for you. A lot of times people will do DeedWorks, $75, and then every added service that they have is a little bit extra. Back over to here, the Funding Kit, and then the last thing you would do is upload your documents to the Cyber Vault or to the eVault. And you can, I thought they were, then you put your documents in these. Why did that do that? Huh. Okay. Okay, my system is burping on me. I apologize again. Computers, like dogs, will make a fool out of you when they can. So that's the process you go through. It's not as complicated as I made it seem today to process, to print, generate and print your trust documents. It actually is fairly easy. The Funding Kit is the quitclaim deed, and then any other personal properties that they want to put into their trust, all other assets. The guidelines for funding. I had a guy today was a ham operator, and he wanted his son to have his ham equipment. And so we put that in there as a piece that his son would get. I would actually put in as a bequeath. And did that. All right. That is filling out the document, filling out the trust, looking for the things that can trigger errors, and how to find them and how to fix them. How to generate it, how to print it. And if you don't have a color printer, you can print it out in black and white. We do not suggest that you print it front and back. We suggest that you print it one side of the page. If you've got an inkjet, that's an awful lot of ink into a piece of paper, and it will bleed through. We also recommend that you use a 22 or 24 pound paper, which is nice. And if you want to go to this extreme of getting it pre-drilled, in other words, it's got your 3 holes in it so that you don't have to have a hole punch, then you can do that. But it is a little bit extra. And I think Amazon's got hole punches now that'll accommodate 40 pages for about $30. And if you want to go electric, they're about $40. So much for my advertising. I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask you guys, have you got any questions? Unmute yourselves. And
Greg,
yes, ma'am.
I'm still real new at this. When we upload the final documents, these are the signed documents?
No,
Or unsigned?
you can scan signed documents into, scan them into a file and then upload that file into the eVault, which is a good idea. That way you've got a signed document. And I think that's one of the things that, I use with the flash drives is I'll scan the signed document. I'll bring it back to the office. I'll disassemble it. I'll scan it all in where it's signed and notarized and all like that. Then I'll recoil it and take it back to the person. But what you are from the software, what you're uploading are non-signed documents, but you can scan the signed documents in there and put them into the vault for them.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Greg, you were talking about paper.
Yeah.
what do you mean by 22 or 24-pound paper? Because when I go to when I buy paper, it's just paper, but
Okay,
I noticed that the paper that I use for my basic printing for all my stuff, my daily
yeah,
stuff, is different because I'm doing a restatement, on this guy, and his paper off of his trust that we're restating, right? The
yeah,
paper quality feel is totally different than the paper quality feel that I'm using. So I
okay.
just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, standard copier paper or standard printer paper that you buy at one of the big box stores.
Right,
It's in a 500 sheet
right,
ream is usually
right,
20-pound paper. And that has to do with the thickness of the paper. 22 and 24 are just a little bit thicker. And then from 24, you start stepping into your cardstock. Now you can get a lightweight cardstock and use it, but it's expensive. I go to Sam's Club, Sam's Wholesale Club,
hmm
and I buy the oh crud, it's a 22-pound paper, and it's a 750 sheet bundle, and it costs me $9. So it's economical, but it's a little heavier, and it's got a hard finish on it that will accept the inkjet and not bleed through. So, just that's one of those little quirky things that I sort of looked at and realized we can make some choices. HP. It is an HP brand paper that I buy at Sam's. And if you go online and look at Amazon, just say 22, 24-pound paper, 24-pound copy paper, and it will pull up who's got it, and they'll, you can get it and ship it to you. And it costs just a little bit more to have a better quality of paper. Like you say, Joe, you can tell the difference between what was used by the people who drew up that man's trust and what you normally use to print, print emails off of and things like that.
right.
It's just a lighter weight paper.
Okay, thanks.
And that question you had earlier about the living will, pour over will, I'll get the answer to that because, you know, my remark to you that basically says I'm not practicing law.
Right,
I'm not, to the best of my knowledge, this is it, but I'm not an attorney. So I will get with Courtney Scholar and ask her, or I will ask support at Estate Docs Pro about that. Is there a
Sin-
need to probate the living will that is within the documents that we generate using the software?
right. You know what? Maybe I should ask the questions here in the class thing because I think it's something that others will go through as well. It'll save you
Sure.
time, maybe, if we got time.
Okay.
I'll ask the
I
same
mean,
questions that I had asked you.
we got
Yeah.
time.
Because I said there were like I think 2 or 3 questions that I had asked you, and so the first thing was that there's a quote on the first one that I took a quote out of the training stuff. It says one thing about the Living Will Advanced Directive quote is that it does not name anyone to be in charge. It just explains what you want and what your wishes are to continue living. So my question, right, when I asked you was where is the living will and advanced directive in the computer questions? And then
Yeah,
you said that it's in the right.
I'll
And what
go.
was your answer again?
I said it is
Because I,
in
I
yeah, it's in the interview process, and it is under living will and advanced directives.
right.
Well, and I'm in the wrong pew, guys. That will teach me creature. Come on. Come on. Come on.
You can go on the right-hand side where it says
I-
interview review and just click that and it'll open the whole thing again. So you
Yeah.
can go back, right?
Advanced directives.
Right.
Joe, I'm glad one of us is awake today.
And I'm the one got up early and it's only like 8:30 right now here in
Hey,
Hawaii.
Yeah, but it's 3:30 here and it's been a long day. So yeah, this is where your advanced directives, and it's asked, what do I want? Do I want limitations in my medical treatment? If I say yes, then I have to tell them what I refuse or request. If I say no, then, I'm basically saying, no, do whatever. No, I want specific, and here again, if you say no, but I really don't want them to artificially administer food and water. Just let me pass. Yeah, resuscitate me. Of course, if they resuscitate you and they don't feed you, it's sort of a catch-22, guys. But then, you can deny or refuse certain things, and then pain management. I just don't give me any pain management. Just let me hurt, or I can keep me comfortable. Keep me comfortable. Let me die. Now,
Yeah,
if
my client took no on he took refusing all artificial treatments
Yeah.
except pain management because he said that, if he dies, but they want to die in comfort. They don't want to die suffering. So
right, so
no
you could,
artificial means but pain to
yeah.
comfort
So
whatever.
when you went through this questionnaire, you basically said, click no, I will specify the following treatments. I refuse all of this.
Yeah,
Or
he
you could have
refused all
just
that.
clicked
He put
yes.
yes.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
and refuse everything.
Right.
But I do want pain management.
Right. And
So
that's
when you
what he
click
said.
that and you save it, then
And then you
that's
got to
what
press the
print
save.
out on the advanced directives.
Oh, you
Now,
gotta press before you get out of there. You gotta press the save and continue, or it'll
yeah,
go back to the old.
I'm gonna let this default to the
Okay.
demo.
Okay.
Now, this is Joe and Jane Doe. And here again, I pointed out on Jane, I don't care how old Jane is, because Jane is a Jane. It will ask you pregnancy exception. And you either request or refuse life-sustaining treatment. If it's possible, the embryo or fetus will develop the point of a live birth. So, that means they're going to keep Jane alive until baby delivers. I want you to keep my body alive so that I can potentially deliver a viable fetus. So if they're female, it asks this question. And the first time I filled one of these out, I'm going, for crying out, the lady was 70. Why do I have to answer that question? But when I didn't answer that question and I did a review, it kept telling me I needed to answer the question. So I finally went in and said yes, and it was cool. Now, one of the things also is organ donation. People can choose to donate the organs or don't donate the organs. They can say, use what you can, and the rest of it goes to research, education, therapy, transplant, whatever. And then you'll answer that for both of the trustors. Okay. And here again, like Joe says, you got to remember to save and continue, or it will default back to what was there previously. If you mark a child, if you mark anybody as an adult child, now you saw when this came up, it came up down here. somebody asked me one time, well, how do it's a minor child. How do I do it? Well, you need to scroll up because the way when this opens up, and I've tried every way in the world to get it open up so I can see both or open up the top. It doesn't. It opens up down here. They were saying, but it's a minor child. So you just got to scroll up on a lot of these pages to be able to see everything that's there. So if it's a minor child, it's up here. But if it is an adult special needs individual, then you're going to come down here and adult disabled children, and you're designated who the primary and the secondary guardian, the guardian and the alternative guardian will be. And then down here, special bequests. And this is under special bequests where that guy that had the ham radio stuff said, the ham radio stuff goes to his son, goes from him to his son. And we put it in there and it printed out. And of course, then he had to sign, and a witness had to witness that particular page of the trust document. So that's going through the generating, filling it out, generating the documents, printing the documents. Talk to you about collating.
Also, hey, Greg,
Yeah,
the other thing too is if you're adding names into the bequest, you got to go back to add people and orgs, or it will not add the name in there.
Yeah,
because it's automatic.
yeah,
'Cause
anybody,
Mhm.
yeah, anybody other than the trustor, trustees and their children, because, it says you're adding children here. Anybody else that's involved with it, whether it be a person or an organization, has to be added, or you can't bequeath them. So, if you can't find them in here, if you go in here to add a bequeath to something, and who's it from, who's the recipient, if you can't find them in the list, it's very simple. You close it out, you go back up to add a person or an organization, you add them, and then when you come back down here to add a bequeath, they'll be there. So any other questions or comments? Joe, you're being phenomenally helpful today, and I am so glad, because
Remember this, and the second question I had asked you was, how do we get the power of attorney into a springing power of attorney POA that requires their personal position and one other position to agree that you should not be making financial decisions, and you told me which one it's in there.
yeah, when keep moving this thing
The
around.
power of attorney, the springing power of attorney.
Right.
think-
When you go to the
right.
financial power of attorney, when you generate that document, it
It
will
automatically.
up at the top of it, it says springing power of attorney, which means that it will spring into action when the person dies. When the designated trustee, after all the trustors have passed away, then it springs into action for them. Now, if it's a dual guarantor,
Greg,
you
I
know-
think it goes into effect when when they're incapacitated, not that they're dead, but when they're
Well, yeah.
incapacitated, and then the two doctors need to get approval before the trustee can take money out from the guy's financial thing. And there's a thing where the training where you're saying that when we're talking to people, we need to make sure that we talk about the two things, just the financial agent plus the power of the springing power of attorney, and tell them that, explain to them that, and most people will want the springing power of attorney, and they'll be grateful that this is a quote from Randall,
Yeah,
that most people will be appreciative that you explain that to them.
yes, you're absolutely right, Joe.
So
When we are doing the trust presentation to the folks, explain to them the roles of who, what, when, and how. The trustee, the successor trustee, the healthcare agent, the financial agent, and the guardian. And explain to them that, you know, if they become, now Randy frequently uses it as the trustee, you know, a trustee can resign, they can die, they can be declared either by a judge or by two physicians as unable to be trustee. So, but if there's a dual setup, you know, one party dies, the other person becomes the trustee, trustor. And then when that person dies and the trust becomes irrevocable and the trustee is to administer this, you know, but yeah, if they become incapacitated and unable to fulfill their duties as a trustee, trustor, or, you know, then they will be, that power of attorney for finance and healthcare will spring into action as opposed to a durable power of attorney, which means it takes action now. So they can't, as long as they're alive, they cannot, unless they are declared incapacitated, cannot make financial decisions for them other than paying their bills. You know, if they're declared as, you know, if the financial agent is activated, which would be on one of those 4 conditions, then they can make the decisions to take care of the financial requirements for the individual. So, okay. Are we good on
Yeah.
that one?
When
Anybody
we
else?
answered that,
Go ahead, Joe.
okay, and then the last one I had to you was that power, on the power phrases that we passed out, it says pour over will to accommodate a trust. And I was confused at that point because I thought, you know, everything should be in a trust. So why does it mention in the power phrase 7 that talks about the trust where we need to have an executor and successor executor? And you answered back by saying that it's if you don't have a trust, that's what they will have to do. If you
Well,
do have
if,
the trust, the will is already included inside of there, so you don't
okay,
have to choose the executor or that kind of thing because you already have your trustee, trustor, trustee, and it's already in
right.
the trust itself. So that
And
cleared that for me.
the pour over will address the issue
Oh
if they
yeah, that's right.
forget to put something into the trust. You know, they forget about the vacation property in Arizona and they pass away and they start to put the Arizona property into probate. Say, well, you know, the intent when they did this was to put those things into into the trust to cover it there. So it should keep us.
Oh yeah,
should
that's the one
keep
you're
us straight
checking
on that.
for me.
That's the
That's the
one I'm
one you're
checking
gonna
to make
check for me
sure. I'm
because you said that to the best of your
best of my
knowledge.
knowledge, and I am not an attorney, so you know.
So that's where you
But
have to
yeah,
check because I had asked you, I thought that the power that the pour over will has to go through probate because it's not in the trust to begin with. And then you told me that no, the pour over will
it
go into the trust
the
where you
pour
don't
over
have to
will
go through probate.
the pour over will is part of the trust documents that you print. You actually print out a last will and testament that goes with that.
Right.
Okay.
But that's where you got to check on for me, whether that is definitely
And I
the
will
case or
check
not.
on it and I will get back to you, Joe, and anybody else. I get a list of who attended, so I will try to remember to send you all the answer that I get to Joe's question about the pour over will. Okay? Is there, where am I at? Come on, Junior. There it is. Stop sharing. Look at everybody. A few people stayed with me. I have a question in the chat box. If it'll open up. There it is. Where'd he go? Nope, I don't have.
Greg, it was Harley. She said my client wanted to add that their property left for their kids or their kids' assets won't be counted as material assets, won't be affected by divorce, stuff like that. Where can they add this provision?
Hi, Lee, I have no idea. Right,
I think,
right now I
I
have no
think,
idea.
hey,
Go ahead.
Greg, I think
Yeah.
that's gonna have to, yeah, that one you probably would have to ask Randall on that. And in all probably, there's a good percentage chance that there may have to be an amendment because you're gonna
Yeah.
write something in there. Because I have the same thing in a different, different stuff, but I've had to do an amendment on mine because the person wanted the Chuster or the Chuster wanted a certain real estate person to handle
Yeah.
the selling of their home. So I had to do an amendment. So if you're gonna do any kind of you're gonna rewrite a statement such as making sure that your kids are separated from the thing that whatever, if there's a divorce or whatever marital situations, you may have to go through and make an amendment on that. And that, I guess you guys will show us who the that lawyer person or the paralegal will get in touch with you, and you tell
Yeah.
them what they want to do, and there's a $200 charge.
Yeah. And when I don't know, and I think it is a legal issue, I do an email to support at Estate Docs Pro and detail out what the situation is and what the people want to have happen. And I ask them, what is the best way to do this? And they're good about telling me we need to do an amendment, or no, you need to do it this way. So, if you have a question and you can't get in touch with me or you can't get in touch with Randall, then it's a real good idea to send a detailed email to support@estatedocspro.com, and that's the mother company. And the paralegals there will be able to tell you exactly what it is. Now, when you do that, say, I'm doing a trust for this state, whatever state it is, and the people are wanting to do this. How can I best do that? And they get back with you real quick. I've never had it take more than 24 hours to get a response to a question, and we've had a few complicated ones. Joe's had a few, particularly with real estate issues. I've had a couple of special needs questions for adult special needs kids. And like I said, they're great about getting back to me. I had one that they wanted to figure out how to keep a family farm in the bloodline. And the closest blood relative was a great niece. So, how do I do that? Because the software doesn't, the software says children or children's children, but it doesn't say children's children. So they said, you put that person in add them as a person or an organization, the yellow tab, and then do a special bequeath of the property to that person when the last trustee passes away, the last of the trustors pass away. So that's what we did. We set it up so that the great niece could get the family farm. And, the thing is we held off on getting it done until such time that they had a chance to talk to the great niece to make sure that she wanted to do that or was willing to do that. Okay? Does that answer the questions, guys? Great. I mean, it's Friday afternoon. I got 3 phone calls to return. I got a couple of them while we were trying to do the meeting, but I've got some phone calls I've got to make. I've got to find out the answer to Joe's question and get it back to him. And, oh Lord, I got to mow the yard. it's gonna rain sometime soon, and the rain and the sunshine has done what it's supposed to do, and that is make the grass grow. So,
There are no more questions in the chat, Greg.
super. Lisa, I appreciate everything that you do to help us to get through this.
Oh,
And
it's a pleasure.
And
I'll have to
sometimes I just stumble.
Oh,
Um,
great. I'll have the recording out by Monday.
Okay, so everybody that attended will get a copy of the recording. And if you didn't get the other two that I have done, the one on the first part of the trust document or the one on the software itself, then let me know. And I will send you a copy of it so that you can put it, in your library to be able to watch that. And are these going up on randallbaxter.com?
Yes, we out of our time for this month, so they haven't gone up yet, but they will go.
Okay, so they will be on randallbaxter.com, FTAP trainings. So they'll be out there for quick and easy access. Guys, have a blessed weekend. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy your families, and that's me. That's not Hailey. My marker, my pointer, when it gets over a section, looks like a hand, so.
Hailey said thanks in the chat.
Yeah. Guys, live long and prosper.